Hey everyone, Logan here. Welcome to another YouTube video. And in this video, I want to talk about procrastination and specifically 4 strategies you can use to help overcome procrastination, because we can all do it, right? It's something that can affect us all. It can take us away from the focused activities, away from the income producing activities, and it's something that kills a lot of hopes and dreams. We have that short-term enjoyment almost. We go off and do the nice fun things, the nice fluffy things, and we forget to do the important things. And when we spend our day doing all the small, insignificant things, we run out of time for the big, important, significant things. So I want to take you through 4 strategies. If you're someone who does struggle with procrastination and you're not seeing growth in your business, you're not seeing a change in your freedom because of this, then hopefully this video helps you. So first strategy, first mindset, first thing we need to think about is understanding that when you're in a business, it is about tasks, not time. Okay? The task that you are doing, not the time that you are taking to do it. That is the important thing. In a job, it's easy to get caught up in, 9 to 5. I'm here for 8 hours and you're there for 8 hours. But in business, it's about what are the tasks that you actually get completed. It's not about I have an hour to work on my business today. The mindset needs to be I am getting these tasks done. Because the problem is, again, with the human mind, when you have an hour to do something, it's very easy to just procrastinate for 57 of those 60 minutes. The task, you had an hour to do it, so the task took a whole hour. We all remember being in high school and you had that 3-month-long assignment and you did it the night before it was due. You did it in like 6 caffeine-fueled hours the night before it was due, but you procrastinated for the rest of the 3 months. And it's the same that we see with people in business. If you give yourself an hour to do something, you will scroll for 57 minutes, like, all right, I've just got to warm up the algorithm, I've got to do all this stuff before I post my content, and we just end up scrolling for 57 minutes, we just procrastinate. Think about, I need to post in 3 groups, I need to create some content for my social media, or whatever it is, but the task at hand, I need to get that task done. Now, the other thing about this as well is that if you're doing this for more freedom, you want more time in your life, then you really need to focus on tasks over time, because if I finish that task sooner, I then get to enjoy more time. Again, if it takes me 60 minutes to create some content because I was scrolling for 57 of those minutes, I have just wasted an hour of my life. If I sit down and say, first things first, I need to create some content and then duplicate it into a few groups, bang, and I do that in 4 or 5 minutes, then I have 55 minutes of freedom, right? I have all this extra time. So often we can get caught up in having a side hustle job instead of a side hustle business, because we just spend our day doing stuff that doesn't matter and we waste our time instead of focusing on tasks. Now, number 2, if you need to as well, think about your tasks with your goal. And this is a big one, because this is where I see a lot of people struggle. We can set really big visions. We can set these huge visions of what we want, but then we get so caught up in the big picture that we forget to take the very first step. And people can have these huge, massive visions, which are incredibly empowering. They cry about it. They're very visceral. They're very emotional, but they don't actually sit down and break them down into the small steps. So what you need to do is you need to have that honest conversation with yourself. You need to sit there in the mirror. And again, if we're talking about, part of your task, part of your income producing activities is to go into 5 groups and create some good content so you can meet some new people and start conversations with them. Or part of your job is like following up with 5 people. Part of your tasks, I should say, is following up with 5 people, reaching out and inviting 5 people to the next event. Those are tasks that you need to do, right? And it can be difficult. It can be easy to procrastinate and say, I don't know, it's Monday morning. No one really wants to talk about this kind of stuff on Monday morning. They've just had a big weekend, all that kind of stuff. And they're back in, I'll talk to them tonight, I'll talk to them tomorrow. Tuesday's a better day rather than Monday, right? And we have that conversation in our head. What we need to do is we need to sit there and say, actually, you know what? I want to create a business that provides me financial freedom so I can have more time with my kids, so I can retire my spouse, so I can give up weekend work, so I can buy my parents a home, so I can take the kids to Disneyland. And we need to remember that goal and then look at the tasks that are going to help us reach that goal. So then when you're sitting down saying, you know what, I won't invite 5 people to the event because it's Monday, they don't want to talk about this kind of stuff. Monday, they had a really big weekend. There was lots of football games, all that kind of stuff. And you need to stop and you need to look in the mirror and say, you know what? Obviously, taking the kids to Disneyland isn't important enough right now. Is taking the kids to Disneyland incredibly important to me? Is retiring my spouse incredibly important to me? Is leaving a legacy for my grandchildren very important to me? Yes? Okay, well, this is the task that you need to do along that way. So don't get caught up in the task, because yes, there is some repetition, there is some mundane, there is some minutia in business. We do need to do tasks, chop wood, carry water, chop wood, carry water. But align it back to, I am chopping wood and carrying water because I want to retire my spouse, because I want to take the kids to Disneyland. And it's much easier to get yourself into action when there's actually a vision tied into the goals. If I have to just create content, that's a bit boring, that's a bit deflating. If I'm, you want to build a brand, you want to help more people, on the way to financial freedom, and part of that is recording a video, it's so much simpler to get it done, okay? Now, number 3, obstacles. Lots of times we can procrastinate because the obstacle is hard or it makes us uncomfortable. You need to do Facebook Lives, you need to create reels, you need to do these sorts of things to, build your social media brand, to have an attraction marketing policy, attraction marketing system in place, I should say. And we can sit there and we get nervous and we get uncomfortable and we see this big obstacle. And again, then it's very easy to procrastinate around the obstacle. It's very easy to sit there and I know I need to go live, but I'm very uncomfortable. And what we have to understand is that the obstacle is the way. Personal development is incredibly important. We talk about personal development all the time, and we only really talk about it in the positive terms. It's really great. It's great to walk across the coals with Tony Robbins, or, punch a board and break a board and do all those sorts of powerful things. The reality is you need to grow to become that next person you want to be. You need to grow in order to attract more success into your life. You need to personally develop. Now, when you're coming up against an uncomfortable obstacle, that is your body saying, well, hey, there's some growth ahead. Now, your brain's job is to keep you in the same place, okay? Your brain's job is to avoid scary things. Your brain's job is to keep you alive. So if it looks at uncomfortable things, if it looks at risky things, if it looks at anything that's not going to keep you safe, it's going to start to tell you, hey, actually, you know what? No, don't do a live, because people are going to get on and troll you. People are going to laugh at you. You're going to sit there and show up to work next day and everyone's going to be like, haha, we saw you live. Or don't do a reel because you can't dance. It's just going to bomb. Very easy for your brain to convince you of these things. But the easiest person in the world to convince is yourself. It's incredibly easy for your brain to convince you that you shouldn't do this thing and you should just go off and procrastinate and, go listen to another podcast before you go live. But the obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way to grow. The challenge that you're having is what is going to help you grow stronger. It's going to forge you into that better leader, into that person who can inspire more people. We grow our skills through greater experiences. We make mistakes and then we grow and we develop. So we have to understand, if there's an obstacle in place and you're using that to procrastinate and you're saying, oh, no, I won't create some content today, I won't go live, I won't reach out to 3 people because they might say no. That is your body saying this is the exact thing you need to do. So again, looking in the mirror, having that awareness and having that understanding that, you know what, I'm uncomfortable, but that's good. I need to lean into it rather than lean away. I'm gonna see that challenge and I'm gonna lean into it rather than lean away. A few years ago, a friend of mine asked me to go bungee jumping with him in one of the highest bungee jumps in the world. I think it's the third highest one in the whole world. And I had actually done it a couple of years earlier. And I said yes, and as soon as I said yes, I started getting really nervous. Like the hairs on my arms, like I was sick. I actually was physically sick. I was in the toilet. And my wife was like, why are you doing this if you've already done it? And I said, well, it still scares me. The fact that it still scares me showed me that I needed to do it. As soon as I said yes, I felt sick and I had to run to the toilet. That showed me that I needed to lean into it. That obstacle was the way. There was some growth that I needed to do. So we went out and did it. It was great fun. All right, last one, okay? We need to document. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Classic marketing mindset. Like classic marketing mantra, I should say. The reality is if you can't look at it every day, then you don't know if you're actually improving or not. You need to be documenting the tasks that you do. Document so that you can measure, so that you can improve. And again, if you sit there and say, oh, you know what? I spent 60 minutes on my business today, but what did you actually achieve? Because if you spent 60 minutes on your business and you listen to a podcast for 60 minutes, that's not going to grow your business. Yes, it's going to help you along the way. Yes, it's going to help your personal development, but it's not actually physically going to help you talk to more people if you never put those things into action, if you never actually look at those tasks and say, you know what, I need to put these things into action. So you need to be documenting your activities. Now, if you struggle with that, you can get a free DMO. So just click the link below. There'll be a link below the video and you can just download my little DMO cheat sheet. Okay, it's your daily method of operation. You put your numbers in, there's a cheat sheet in the back, gives you a few links and some other things to help you grow your business. And the key is when you get that cheat sheet, that you sit there and you put a number in, did you do this? Yes, and you tick it, or how many people did you reach out to? And you put that number in, and that's it. Just give me a number, just tick or cross. There's no, well, I was going to, but it was rainy outside and so I didn't want to take a photo on a rainy day. There's no room for that because that's procrastination. Did you do it? Tick. Did you not do it? Cross, okay? Again, it's you looking into the mirror, it's you looking at your documentation at the end of the day and saying, you know what? I didn't do that task. And that's why my business is growing and I'm procrastinating. Obviously, there's some growth I need to do. Obviously, there's some digging deeper into my goals I need to do. Obviously, I need to think more like a business owner rather than an employee. I need to go through that process and grow. If you can do those things, you will grow, you will develop, you'll stop procrastinating and you'll get the results that you truly want. So again, if you want a copy of this, if you want to download the DMO cheat sheet, just click the link below. I'll send you it on email and that can help you document what you need to do, keep you on the track, keep you on path. I hope you've got value out of this video. I hope it helps. And obviously, if you are a procrastinator, I really hope it does help you. Click that switch, have a look at some of those strategies and mindsets here, gets you into action, gets you further down the pathway to financial freedom. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you got value, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button and we'll see you on another video soon. Catch you then.